Hello, everyone. This is going to be part one of my review of Batman Year One. This is right after I just reviewed Daredevil Born Again, which check it out at my YouTube channel. It's 7 parts. This one will be 4 parts to recognize each issue. And this was basically this is my artist edition, which is fantastic. But I'm going to review it on my Comixology Kindle, on the one that I own there. I just want to show you a little of the art from the part one, including this, which was a big ad that they had, which was awesome. He is the world's greatest detective. That was a lead. And guys, check it out also. Again, this was published 6 months after the last issue of Daredevil Born Again. 233 Daredevil, and this is a Batman 404. Hey, Trevor, Skull! And look what he did. He came with a completely different style in this one. You see the muscles, the leg muscles? He whited them out. He went really bare. At first, I was like, what the? But it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Hill, Jimmy. Check it out, guys. Look at that. Really rock solid drawing. From the anatomy to the weight of the cape, the way it falls on his body, his mouth, the way it's set. It's all black. It's awesome. The belt looks actually real, as opposed to those little, I don't know what they were, little tablets almost, it looked like. So I'm going to show a little of this before I show the Kindle version to review it. Look at this, the inside front cover. Beautiful. Awesome. Give me 1 second, guys. Look at this also. This is huge. This might be this is one of the biggest ones because the Sin City's as big as this, and the Daniel Clowes original art one also. This is an early drawing of Batman by Mazzucchelli when he was a kid. Right there. How cool is that? Get an up-close version of this also. He also has an introduction here, which I'm not going to read. I read it, myself clearly, but it's really well written, well thought out. Check this out, guys. Some of the sketches here. Early character designs. Check out these bottom drawings here, like Dick Tracy style. I mean, that's pretty wild looking. He was definitely experimenting. He got a little away from the Daredevil Born Again style, where he was experimenting. With this one, I think he went with a yeah, Jimmy. It's more dramatic that way. It's interesting because he was going for something completely different, clearly, than what had been previously, established. Like it was basically, I guess, 10 years removed from the Neil Adams version, which was completely every delineated muscle, the striations on his shoulders and chest, and on one level, it's pretty cool, but I don't know. This is just so solid. It just looks solid. It's beautiful. This shows some sketches here, but I'm just going to go through a few images from the part one, from the cover art here to the opening. I guess there's a splash page, even though it's a little different than a splash page. It's just something that's more like iconic images, which is really strong also. It's funny, Dark Knight Returns, when, okay, sorry, but look at this also, guys. Look at this. Look at the establishing shots here. The work he put in. It's really impressive. It's just really impressive. Beautifully drawn. Beautifully designed. The angle, the arc there with the train. Bruce Wayne peering into him in that single window there on the plane. Look at this train station. I'll show a few more, and then we'll get going on the actual review. Hey, comic books and in cahoots. Check out his cartoon. That's the commissioner, Loeb. Check out what he's doing there, Mazzucchelli. Look at this. It's really, really good. Even this, guys. Just even this. This is so hard to handle, man. But even this, even that car. Look at the car. Rock solid. Perfect. Leaving the white space around it on the edge. He clearly took those 6 months since Daredevil Born Again, and rethought his finished line. He rethought his finished. Look at that gorgeous shot. It says everything there, and it's beautifully told. Doesn't need anything else there. Surrounded with snow. I don't want to go through the whole thing, but I am tempted, a part of me. But let's just show a few more things, and then I'll go through the story. Great shot right here. Great young Bruce Wayne, those eyes. All right, guys. I just want to show that, and we'll get to the story. And I'll interact with you guys as I go along with no problem. Actually, I want to put it here so I can show it for next time. If I don't put it here, I might forget. All right, guys. Comic Books in Cahoots says it harkens back to comic strip art from the 50s. It does, but it's far more sophisticated. While the style is deceptively simple, it's very sophisticated. It's just that the finished art, he was looking for a far more simple, I guess, final look. Yeah. Jimmy says, that's a beautiful inside cover of Batman. The black and white is powerful. It really is. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Jimmy Lumberjack says, was Frank Miller a student of Toth? He rarely brought him up. I think he brought him up once when someone brought him up. I know Toth was not a fan. Unfortunately, I think he couldn't look past some of the, how would I put it? I don't know. That wasn't his Batman, I guess, necessarily from what he heard, even though he wrote a fan letter to this particular series regarding Dave Mazzucchelli and his, I guess, use of the finished style that Toth used. And he wrote a fan letter to Dave Mazzucchelli. So he did see this. I'm thinking he probably resented the Dark Knight because he had a more of a friendly idea about Batman. Toth was like an old school conservative in a lot of ways. I don't think he appreciated changing characters too much from what he thought they should be. And he resented, I think, some things that Miller may have said or done. I don't know exactly. But I know that in one interview, in one of the videos that I had, he said, someone asked about Miller. He goes, yeah, Miller, that's another thing, something like that. So he didn't have too kind of attitude about him. But I do think this. I think if Toth had read Daredevil Born Again, and, I think he would have established himself like, okay, this guy's good. This guy's a great storyteller. And then maybe followed him to The Dark Knight and Batman Year One. I think if he had read Daredevil Born Again, I think he would have realized that Frank Miller is an actual great talent. It's unfortunate. He just had this negative opinion about him. But it's a different school, different era. But then again, things are timeless, aren't they, guys? They should be, at least. Timelessness is a virtue. These things should be timeless. These are, a lot of the guys who do it, unfortunately, they see it as a job. They're jobbing it month after month. Frank Miller and Dave Mazzucchelli, though, they haven't done monthly comics in decades, monthly comics. So they had a little more opportunity to take their time to think it through. Um, Not to waste your time, but just take their time. Make sure it's as good as can be. That doesn't necessarily mean, more detail. I mean, look at this. He lays it on when he has to establish the shot, to establish, Gotham City. He does that, and then he strips it bare when he can, because he's a storyteller. He's not he's not a visual period as an end in itself. He is telling a story. Um, SXS, what's up? Love me some of your one. Yeah, it's so good. Hail, Mikey gets Amoral Fat 40 Ounce. I've only seen the animated movie of this book. Not good. Amoral Fat 40 Ounce. It was a rote adaptation. They added nothing to it. They didn't stylize it. It was pretty dead. This is the one you got to look at. You got to read this. That was not good. It came and went. I forgot. The only thing I remember is it was not that good and it was lifeless. That's what I remember. And I think Bryan Cranston, who's such an asshole, good actor, but he's such an asshole. He's such a lefty hack. I think he did Commissioner Gordon, and the guy who did who played Commissioner Gordon in the Gotham series did Batman, but he was way too. He tried to put it gravelly. It's like it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. They have to figure out a way to make it less so like that. But Comic Book Sing Who says Catwoman as a hooker probably rubbed Toth the wrong way. That's for sure, no doubt about it. If he knew of that, even though he did write the fan letter, which was published, I think, in the second or last issue of this particular run. It was Batman, I believe, 404 to 408 or 407, 404, 405, 404 to 407, I believe. Mikey says, "Yeah, I'm loving these Frank Miller reviews. Yeah, I love doing them, and I love that you guys like them. So here we go, guys. Frank Miller, Dave Mazzucchelli with Richmond Lewis. Yeah, SXS. He did do a good job with Walter White, but outside of great writing and a great showrunner, he did something called Your Honor. Sucked. Flat out sucked. I don't know what he was trying to do. He was trying to do something hard and edgy. It sucked. He played a corrupt, judge who was willing to sacrifice his entire, integrity of life for the sake of his son. And then, I don't know, it was really bad. And there was one line in particular. It was canceled after the second season, and I called him out publicly after one episode. It was so bad. His delivery on this one line, it was so bad. 401 to 404. Okay, Scott Greenwich. Okay. I always had in my head 404 to 407, something like that. 401 to 404. Okay. That sounds right. Hold on a second. Now you got me confused here. So I was right. I always had it in my head that's what it was, but let's see. Batman 401. Let's just see what it is. No. I think you're right. 404 to 407. Yeah. I think I was right as well. 404 to 407. Yes. There it is. From the Batman comic itself, 404 to 407. It was right after issue 400. They had a few fill-ins. They were feeling themselves around at that point. They didn't know which way they would go, but clearly they got Miller on there. They got Mazzucchelli. And they told this epic story in a very, how do I put it? In a very 1987, yes, 404 to 407, Scott Greenwich. And again, guys, this was published 6 months after Daredevil Born Again, and you can see the difference in his art, in Mazzucchelli's finished art. Again, the design work, it is what it is. The pencils, you probably can't distinguish too much between them for both of the series, but the finished art is where Mazzucchelli said, okay, I got full control here. I got my time. Let's see what I can do here. He went for a very graphic, bold change in the way he presented the anatomy of the human body. Because Daredevil, he was, shredded. His Daredevil was like Bruce Lee style, in the sense where all the anatomy was perfect. He was shredded with striations going through the suit at times, even like the extra muscles between the muscles, the lines on the muscles from his shoulders and the chest, everything. And then he went bare, with this. He stripped it of a lot of window dressing. He stripped it. And even his cover here, it's awesome. You see that there's a dry brush at work there, you know. Um, Mikey Getz says the panel with Batman trying to save the guy from the balcony and his friends trying to beat him and drop him always stuck with me powerful. Absolutely. It's great. All right, guys. Here we go. Batman Year One. I don't want to read these stuff. This was the original cover. That's the original art to the cover. Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta move this a little over here so I can move this here so I can get back if I have to. Okay. Oops. Sorry, guys. So yeah, this was the cover to issue 404. Without the title there, clearly. It's very dramatic. It's very simple and clear. And that's what he was going for, clarity. And I don't think it needs anything more than that. Everything's well drawn. The clothing, Bruce in shadow. Okay. So here we go. He will become the greatest crime fighter the world has ever known. It won't be easy. It won't be easy. Chapter 1, Who I Am, How I Come to Be. There's the bat. So as we did with Daredevil Born Again, we're going to look at the 2 pages at once. And maybe at times for certain panels, I might do this. I might pull in some close. I might do that. I don't know. Let's see. Because again, it's not like I'm trying to look for, incredible detail here because there isn't necessarily. There is absolute rock solid drawing here. I mean, look at this, guys. Look at this drawing. Rock solid. Everything means something. It's all sound, and it's just what you need without excess busy work, So January 4th of that year 1, you got Commissioner Gordon, Captain Gordon coming in from Chicago. Something happened there. Miller's alluding to this idea that he was a little corrupt. No 3D assets, SXS. This is all he put into work. And it looks rock solid. And he used reference, most likely, because, it looks exactly like what we're looking at. You wouldn't want to guess on this to make it that good looking. Now you can take, reference doesn't have to be, you don't have to be a slave to it either. You can set up the stage and then, go from there. Maybe he had a straight shot of a train. He goes, you know what? I want to curve that. And along those lines to make the beautiful composition that he makes here. So here we are, January 1st. This is a narration by Gordon, James Gordon. Gotham City, maybe it's all I deserve now. Maybe it's just my time in hell. 12 hours. My stomach's been trying to eat itself for the last 5. Barbers flying in. I don't care how much it costs. There's no trains, no way to come to Gotham. In an airplane from above, all you'd see are the streets and buildings. Fool you into thinking it's civilized. Man, he's coming there with a bad attitude, isn't he? Yep. And then here's the flight coming in. He just mentioned in an airplane. And here we have an airplane. Beginning our final descent to Gotham City. Please return seats and trays to their upright positions. And here's the narration here by Bruce Wayne. It's different handwriting there. From here, it's clean shafts of concrete and snowy rooftops, the work of men who died generations ago. From here, it looks like an achievement. I should have taken the train. I should be closer. I should see the enemy. Love that attitude also. This young man coming back from his training to become this greatest crime fighter ever. And he speaks in those dramatic terms when I think they're important. I think we need to speak. Hello out there. I think we need to speak about enemies, about our enemies. We don't do that anymore. We talk about our, how do they call it, our opponents and so on. That's how we, refer to our enemies. No, they're our enemies. They want to see us do really badly. They want to hurt us also. So, and then here's back to Gordon. By now, his wife, Barbara's gotten her test back. I only hate myself a little for hoping they come out negative. This is no place to raise a family. And you got this, I guess, Hare Krishna. Nice book for a small donation. No, please. Gordon. Lieutenant James Gordon. Nice book. Look at the pictures. Gah! This cop chokes him. Says, walk, skinhead. Name's Flass, Lieutenant. Name's Flass, Lieutenant. Detective Flass. Commissioner Loeb sent me to make sure you didn't miss your appointment with him. Hope you don't mind if I call you Jimmy. By the way, guys, I'm going to take some asides here. I always do that. Hope you don't mind. But I saw that on my Comixology, well, what's left of it, if it's not all Kindle now, because I know that they tanked. But anyway, Hush Part 2 came out. Hail, Goody Two Shoes. Has anyone seen it? Has anyone gotten it? I saw the cover. It's okay. It's a serviceable Jim Lee cover. It looks like a commission that they just slapped the title on. I don't know. If anyone got it, let me know. I mean, I doubt it's good, but I was reminded of Loeb here, Commissioner Loeb, Jeff Loeb, who's a mediocre writer, really is. But I'm just curious if anyone got it. I did, and yeah, SXS, yeah. I don't know exactly what happened, but maybe we could talk about it at one point. Okay, Good Two Shoes. Did you read it? Let me know. Scott Cranage says first issue is good. Okay, I might check it out. I did get the Wolverine Revenge 5 with a Capullo, who's great. The cover's great too. And against my own will, almost, I got the Fantastic Four versus Godzilla that John Romita Jr. drew. He looks more like a lizard. I saw some parts, but I still, yeah, Loeb is very hit or miss. He is. Love Superman for all seasons. That was very tough for me to get into because of the balloon nature of Superman. Tim Sale made him into this big Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade balloon. Ridiculous looking. Ludicrous looking. Yeah, Mikey. Of course, Scott Cranage, good, but not year one good. This is, this is an all-timer right here. Jim Lee has never made an all-timer. He hasn't. He was good on the X-Men. I liked him on the X-Men, especially the Uncanny X-Men. He was good. He was exciting, new, really, gave his all. He looked dynamic, and then he got stiffer and stiffer and stiffer to the point where his figures look like action, like toys. Sale is also hit or miss. He is, man. The weird mouths and nose, and I don't know what's going on there. Detail, no detail. His wash was really good. Sale's wash, the gray wash that he had, was really nice. Action figures. That's what Jim Lee's characters look like now. Action figures. It's like he puts them together and they look like that, so stiff and weird looking, as if he's using only action figures to draw from them. I mean, that's what it looks like. They're not dynamic the way he used to make Wolverine and Gambit and all that, and it's just not dynamic anymore. Anyway, guys, yeah, I'm gonna keep going here. I will check it out. Yeah, he did sell out. It's like, what an idiot. What a dummy for himself. He leaves to go to Image, and that's why Image was a fraud, really, in the end. It really was. It was all about, and that's fine. They want to make their money. They want to make all the money. They don't want to share it. Okay, fine. Be honest with it. Don't talk about creative rights and individual rights and all that. Don't tell me that. They're not about storytelling. None of them were. If anyone was, maybe Silvestri, because he's a really good artist, top down on every level. But my point is that it was all about making more money, and that's cool. Admit it. Be honest. Be honest. It was not about creative freedom. That was bullshit. At the time, I knew it. I was like, that's bullshit. Um, anyway, here we go, guys. I hope you don't mind. My reviews, I go all over the place. I do acknowledge the chat, but let me go on for at least a few more pages. Walk, skinhead. Name's Flass, Lieutenant. Detective Flass. Commissioner Loeb sent me to make sure you didn't miss your appointment with him. Hope you don't mind if I call you Jimmy. Well, nice colors, the guy's choking. Welcome to Gotham, Jimmy. It's not as bad as it looks, especially if you're a cop. Cops got it made in Gotham. Yeah, sounds like a real criminal. And then Bruce Wayne's coming back to town after years abroad. And the media's waiting for him. And welcome home, Mr. Wayne. How's it feel to be back? Princess Caroline. Any plans, Mr. Wayne? Any truth to the rumors? The 25-year-old heir to the Wayne millions declined to comment on rumors of romance in his life, or on his plans on his return to Gotham after 12 years abroad. We'll keep you posted on Gotham's richest and best-looking native son, Tom. A little hint, a little touch of Dark Knight there with the media. So here we go. There's a little mention of Harvey Dent here, while he's still a district attorney. Thank you, Jackie. Following the disappearance of a key witness, assistant district attorney, this is, when he's assistant, Harvey Dent has withdrawn conspiracy charges against Police Commissioner Loeb. So he was already trying to take out the commissioner on the corruption charges. Gillian, I guess Gillian B. Lowe, Commissioner of Police. We're all delighted to have you on the team, Lieutenant. You'll get my best work, sir, I promise. And we are a team. A team needs team spirit, don't you think? Yes, it does. And your record shows you've got what it takes. Gordon says, I know I made my mistake, sir. I'm grateful for this chance to prove myself. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's smoking. What mistakes have you made, Lieutenant? You kept the media away from it. That's the bottom line, isn't it? Yes, it is. Yeah. I'd feel better about toughing out the nicotine fit if I didn't have to smell those eucalyptus cough drops of his. And look at the surroundings, guys. This is the Commissioner of Police, supposed to be a serious man, a crime fighter. Look at this. Snoopy. Peanuts characters. This cartoon character here. A clown painting. It's like, what the hell's going on here? This guy's... He goes, I swear you won't have to worry about my honesty, Commissioner. He goes, last thing on my mind. Last thing. And look at his face here. Let me pull that up here. Look at his face. Again, a very slight little cartoon there. He's like, last thing on my mind. That's great. Yeah, look at this, guys. It's like, this is not a serious man here. Supposed to be the crime fighter of Gotham City. And here's Bruce Wayne and Alfred. After 12 years, Alfred, I trust you've been well, Master Bruce. Wayne Manor. Mazzucchelli did use, if you hear a dog, sorry guys. Mazzucchelli did use Gregory Peck as a model. I'm gonna check out your comments after a few pages, guys. Wayne Manor, built as a fortress generations past to protect a fading line of royalty from an age of equals. Mother, father, it's good to be back. Great coloring here. Keep it simple. He basically didn't color anything. Actually, Richmond Lewis, Dave Mazzucchelli's wife, who colored one issue at least of Daredevil Born Again, and here she is just leaving it all white, the paper. And again, that car is rock solid. Look at that. The weight of it, the line work, the underline, thick, beautiful. Even something like that, I'm just impressed by. It's awesome. So here's Flask drinking and driving, sloppily with some fuzz on his lip. Knew you'd like the commissioner, Jimmy, and he'll be just as good to you as you are to him. You can count on that. I keep telling myself it's either this or pumping gas. Then I tell myself I'm doing it for Barbara. And the brakes screech. Stop cold. He goes, Flask, what's? Nothing I can't handle solo, Jimmy. Mother know you're here, Stevie? Oh, man. Not anything, not doing any. Boom, whack. Punches him. And Gordon's just watching. He goes, I keep talking to myself. This time I say you'd better know your facts before you bring another cop down. He just met this guy. He knows he's got to bring him down. Because especially in public. Flask has had Green Beret training, I can tell. And he knows how to use his size. I watch and I don't do a damn thing and I memorize every move. For future reference. And Gordon says, was that necessary? Had this little beauty in his pocket. It's a comb, Flask. I'm only human, Jimmy. Great cartooning here, man. Look at this. The subtlety there. Just the eye slanted. Him with that sheepish look. It's awesome. Very, very cool. And then this beautiful shot here, guys. Beautiful. Look at this. Very, very effective. He gets to see his parents again in this fashion. He hasn't seen their gravestones in 12 years out there. Goes and visits with them and talks with whatever he does, but it's really effective. Look at this. Also the open look at this. Meaning you got the gutters, right? It's completely there. Open throughout the entire thing, as if to say it's all snow around everywhere. Love it. And then you got this dramatic shot here of the cop cars. February 12th, a month later. The boys, this is Flask to Gordon. Because he's testing out Gordon. He's seeing if he's corrupt, meaning if he's good, if he's going to rat them out. So he wants to make sure he is what they think he is, because he did something in Chicago which wasn't good. They never get to it. They allude to it a little, but he's trying to start a new leaf. Gordon, he's trying to start, I guess, to be the cop that he always thought he should be. The boys, they've been asking me to talk to you, Jimmy. Thought maybe I could get a word in, knowing how tight we are. They're worried about you. I'm touched, Flask, but right now I'm worried about a homicide. Turn left. Again, the beautiful subtlety of Mazzucchelli and the acting. Look at this. Look at Gordon's eyes. Just a slide over. Really, really effective. Great angle, great shot, great drawing. Love it. He goes, never make it in this business if you don't learn to relax, Jimmy. I mean, we got our own way of doing things here in Gotham. I mean, you came down pretty hard on Morgan. I mean, you with a baby on the way. Call me Lieutenant. Make your next right. Call me Lieutenant. Make your next right. And here is Bruce Wayne, biding his time, trying to figure it out. He doesn't know exactly how he's going to basically use all of the knowledge he's learned, all of the mastery of fighting, of deduction, of crime fighting, of detective work. He doesn't know yet. He knows he wants to fight crime. outside of the legal system. Just doesn't know exactly how to go about it. And these shots are great. I mean, these shots are great. It shows the power and the strength, even though he's just a man, that he figured a lot out over the years, how to do certain things. To become a little more than a man. Great shot. Great inking, great finished work, bold, strong. And he's like, I'm not ready. I have the means, the skill, but not the method. No, that's not true. I have hundreds of methods, but something's missing. Something that isn't right. I have to wait. I have to wait. That's pretty cool the way that bled over. He had trees outside the panels. February 26th. So Father Donnelly, he slips Gordon a 50 with a handshake. And Gordon, he looks at it like his hand's got a disease. Then he throws the 50 in the Padre's face, gives a squad a 2-hour lecture, puts Shell on probation. He's just not fitting in, Gil. I had such hopes for that boy. I could get the boys together, soften him up. No, not while I'm in town. There's enough heat on me as it is. No, you'll absolutely have to wait until I'm at the conference in Washington. 2 weeks, Flask. 2 weeks. 2 weeks to rough up our own. At least what should be our own. All right, guys, I'm going to go a little more. I'm going to read some of your comments here. Goody Two-Shoe says, Jim Lee X-Men was an all-timer just based on sales, but I was a kid then too. It holds up. I got, I guess, what is a Jim Lee collection, the bulk of his work on the X-Men. I got all those, and then he did those first 3 or 4 issues of X-Men. And then he started to, loosen up a little and went to Image. And again, they made a killing. They made as much money as possibly could. But those assholes, it's like this. They made so much off of Marvel. But they said, yeah, but I'm not making enough. I want to make everything. And that's cool. That's fine. Be honest with it. Don't talk to me about creative freedom. Don't lie to me. They were lying. Because the work that they did there was less than the work they did at Marvel. Wildcats? Who remembers Wildcats, guys? Who remembers Wildcats? I mean, honestly. Please. Youngblood? Give me a break. Terrible. Unreadable. Pap, I mean, really, really bad comics. Terribly told. They wanted to cash in? Fine, but I would have respected it more if they said, look, man, I'm in this for the money. I want to make as much as I possibly can. I don't want to share it with Marvel and DC. Okay, at least we know that. At least we know that that's what we thought you were. SXS says he's added nothing to DC. True. About Jim Lee. They bought Wildstorm. He sold out. Why? Just stupid. Why? What have they done with it, Wildstorm? Where are his characters? Where's Wildcats number 100? Where is it? Mikey Getz says his Robin in All-Star is my favorite, though. The way he drew Robin in All-Star Batman, Mikey, because that was a very strange, off-putting series. Even though series, they stopped cold at issue 9. It was supposed to go on for at least, I don't know, a number more issues. Scott Crater says, so far it compares to original Hush first issue. I didn't even care for the Hush original. I do have the special edition, at least digital form, just to look at Jim Lee's art at times, really. Not for the story, not for anything else, really. Just to look at his art sometimes. Some of it's really good. Sometimes it's really good. But it's not great. It's just not great. SXS, 100% the way Todd treated Gaiman proved that. Yeah. Yeah, it was, look, it was about money. And that's, every July, it's about money. Say it. Be honest. It's not about creative endeavors. They're not artists. A lot of these guys are businessmen. They are, first and foremost. Jim Lee, what has he proven himself to be? An all-time great creator? Absolutely not. What has he done? Why is he doing this? trying to pump up some sales while he's in charge. At least say, guys, we sold a little more this month because me. Terrible. Scott Crane's Lee's art about 80% compared to the original. Okay. Egon Drancock, have you read Sylvester's Batman story? I looked through it. I looked through it enough where I like some of the art. A little too sketchy, to be honest. A little too sketchy. I wanted a more of a finished line work. I wish he got like a, I think it was his pencils published, as far as I know, and colored. And the story didn't look that interesting to me. I think I might have got the first issue, and that was it. But Sylvester's a great artist. He was great on day one when he did Web of Spider-Man and then X-Men, and he was a good storyteller, great anatomist, very cartoony, exaggerated, dynamic. His Wolverine was really good too with Larry Hama, and even Cyber Force, it looked good. I didn't care for it, but it looked good. Witchblade, I never got that. I basically checked out after they all went to Image. I was like, nah, this is shit. I did get some of the issues that when McFarlane accepted the fact that he sucks as a writer, hired what he considered to be the best writers, and those stories were forgettable. I don't remember them. Do you? Alan Moore, Frank Miller, Dave Sim, Neil Gaiman. I was like, not that much of a difference really, because the character is not sound. Spawn, he's not a great character. Survive Infinity 0088. What's up? Hail CG. SXS, simple and powerful. I think you're talking about Mazzucchelli. It is. Mikey Getz, who's your favorite Batman actor? Christian Bale. Christian Bale. I believed him. I believed him putting on that suit. I believed him. There was a conviction there with the way he played it, an intensity that Batman requires. I didn't care for some of the, growling, but I could live with that, because the overall performance was fantastic. He was a great Bruce Wayne, and he did the job really well, and he was committed to it, to be as good a Batman as he could be. And I was surprised that I didn't hate Ben Affleck's version. I didn't hate it. Batman versus Superman, he stepped up pretty damn good. He was pretty good in there, but yeah, Bill's the guy. Pattinson, I don't know yet. The jury's still out. I didn't like that first performance, the Batman. I didn't like it. I didn't like his whispery voice. I didn't like that either. I didn't like the fact that he didn't look all in. You got to be all in. He's an emo guy. It's like Bruce Wayne. His Bruce Wayne is ugly. It's like, what the hell's that? He's pale as hell. He's dour. The black hair is like black eyes. Like, he looks ugly. The guy's not ugly, so I don't know what the hell they did there. It's supposed to be guys. You're supposed to separate the two characters. They're not one. I know you think you're being clever and different, but it's stupid. Everyone in the cities. Oh yeah, that's Batman. That guy. That guy right there, the dark guy. The guy's always looking around grim. That's Batman. Yeah, it's just stupid. Really dumb. And it doesn't take years to make. It's like they're pretending it took years to make that, and now it'll take years to make this other one. Like 4 or 5 years later. Come on, get serious. It doesn't take that long. They're fucking around or something. Matt something. I've got his name, but it's tough to listen to interviews with him. Also, he's such a hack from the. He's better than J.J. Abrams, but he's from that crowd. He's from that crowd, and he did a good Planet of the Apes second and third one. His Batman, though, I don't know, man. They were too weak to resist calling out white people. Too weak. I'm gonna read a few more of the guys and then get back. And I hope you don't mind this. I could do, a complete. I could record my reviews completely, but I like the organic give and take. Let me know, guys, if you don't, and we can go from there. Because if you don't, I'll consider it. I'm not gonna be, audience capture and all that. I'll only do what you guys algorithm. I don't play that bullshit. I do what I do, but I like doing this. You guys tell me though, if you don't, if enough to you tell me don't. We'll just do an open forum, an open stream. That's fine. SXS. I never caught the bit about Gordon possibly being corrupt. Yeah, it's alluded to about his time in Chicago. Um, it couldn't have been that bad though, because if it's that bad, you don't get another shot, no matter where you go, even in a hellhole like Gotham. Um, Mikey says Batman thought Gordon was at first. Crane style. Hey Bosch, hope life is well. Appreciate these inside streams. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you saying so and being here. Thank you. Um, Mikey says, I like Image, but if they were for creative freedom, CG wouldn't exist and they'd be publishing Pac-Man. 100%, Mikey. 100%. They have their click and they play the same game that the mainstream does. They don't do anything controversial. What have they published controversial? What have they published as, whoa, holy shit, Marvel DC would never publish that? What? I don't know. You know. Warzone, the board, Time Lord. Spawn till the timer ran out was at least okay. Spawn in an alley sitting on a throne of bone, not good at all. I got some of those issues bad. And I remember it was like a haze. Greg Capullo is a great artist, a great comic book artist. Day one, he was great. His X-Force was great. His Quasar was great. Got better and better each issue. And then, Todd just snapped him up and buried him underneath his inks and Spawn for years. I'm not saying he was a willing participant, of course, but he lost a good number of years of doing more better stuff, better stories at least. And I can care less also though for Scott Snyder's writing at all. I can care less for it. It was the art that I got the Batman for. And sometimes it was a strange mix of simplicity and detail. I don't know what he was going through as well, Capullo. Right now, I'm enjoying his Wolverine art, though. It's a throwback to his old, I think, X-Force stuff, at least to me. It's really, really good. JEC says, I couldn't deal with a 3-hour Batman movie. Which one was that? Egon the Dragon Cock said, I think with Pattinson, he's more of a product of the director. He said he wanted his Batman based on Kurt Cobain. That's just so stupid. It's so corny also. It's like, what a... And he puts even the song in there. It's like, you got a lyrical song in a Batman movie? Really bad. Really bad. Ugh. And he looked a little, I don't know, like a homemade costume. I guess that's what they were going for, with that squared off nose. And his mouth looked a little weird. I don't know what was going on with his little chiclet teeth. It looked weird. They have to step it up next time and make him the Bruce Wayne. Make him the Playboy, man. Just do it. Get Pattinson to look more like himself. Don't look like this ugly little, I don't know, lost boy with black under his eyes and black hair and looking dour every moment of the day. It's like, again, they're going to know it's you, dummy. Warzord, the board Time Lord, says, I miss the days of 90-minute genre films. Yeah, they were pretty common. Sometimes when I put on a movie that I want to watch, if it's under 2 hours, I'm always pleased, always. JEC says, I like the streams where the host interacts. Cool. Thanks for saying so. I like it too, but you never know. Mikey Getz says, no, I appreciate going through classic comics and talking to a king. Thanks, Mikey. Appreciate it, man. Jimmy says, this format works for me. You're the boss, Bosch. Thank you very much, Jimmy. Very, very kind. Thank you. Trevor says, never thought of Gordon as corrupt. It all seemed to allude that he told on other corrupt cops. Maybe, Trevor, and I'd like to believe that if that's the case, but they never lock it in, so don't know. But this is like a prison term, him being sent to, he's being punished, basically, being sent to Gotham, clearly. JEC says, Capullo said in an interview he went through a divorce and he was in rough shape for about 10 years, drinking too much. Then he met his new wife and started working on Batman. Wow. I remember something along those lines. I remember, was it reading something, or he did say something, and it was just a slog. You got a great artist buried under, again, McFarlane inks for a decade with, well, I don't know. I mean, at that point, it's like Spawn's just completely, it's like it's off on its own thing. It has nothing to do with the audience even. I don't even know. I just know that I lost complete interest for it. And that's good to hear because Capullo is a great artist. Again, I want him doing, big high profile stuff. It's good that he's doing Wolverine right now. I'd love to see him do the Hulk or something, or even maybe some Spider-Man. He's really good, and he's still good. Um, it's a I wouldn't say it's great revenge, the story wise, Jonathan Hickman, but the art's really really good. Um, yes, Scott Cranium said I was down after Court of Owls new the 52. That's all Snyder had in him. Yeah, but even that was like, you know, okay, it just wasn't great. Trevor says kinda last good cop in a bad town type, a Dirty Harry. It's possible, Trevor, and I hope that is the case. I think it is because overall, we know Gordon to be a good man. We don't know him to be a petty, corrupt cop. We know that's not him. It's never been him in any iteration. The movies, the shows, the comics. But this is just Miller, I think, trying to bring a little edge to it, bring a little mystery, a little something extra to Gordon, and maybe to redeem himself here, because he sure as hell does. Whatever happened, he sure as hell does. And even the closest we got to a corrupt Gordon was in Dark Knight Rises, where him and Batman made that pact where we're gonna lie to the public. I hated that, by the way. I hated that, and I love the fact that Nolan had enough integrity to say we're gonna have to deal with that thematically. We're gonna have to deal with the fact that they lied to the public, and they're gonna be caught. When Bane, tells the world about it when he gets the sheets, the speech that Gordon had been wanting to tell for a while about his corruption, about him and Batman lying about Harvey Dent and so on. So that, in one way, touched on something along these lines. But if that's as bad as he gets, it's not that bad. I mean, personally speaking, I hate when the characters, lie, and they're like politicians at that point. It's like, God damn it, have some integrity here. Egon the Dragoncock, Scott Snyder is vastly overrated, 100%. The Batman Who Laughs is one of the most retarded villains in my. I don't remember that either. I think I saw like a Joker Batman something. He's like Bendis Redux. He's as ugly as him, as short, as stupid in his mugging at the camera. With all those faces he puts with the eyebrows and stuff. I think he has one eyebrow that goes up anyway, but he's like Brian Michael Bendis. Same shit. A forgettable writer who has far too much influence. It's like, what the hell? Scott Kreener said, I was done after the second Court of Owls. New 52. That's all Snyder had in him. Sorry. Dude, you said that 3 times. Yeah, maybe he just repeated it on... Anyway. JEC, Capullo did like 80 issues of Spawn, then stopped doing comics for like 10 years. Is that right, JEC? Did he stop? Because I don't remember hearing or seeing about 10 years? That doesn't sound right, but wow. Trevor says, yeah, like no other cops would work with him because he wasn't corrupt. Had to leave and took promotion to start over. That's very possible because that's how they see honest people, as dirty from their perspective. Is he going to rat on us? Is he one of those guys? It's very possible. It's very possible that is the case. Maybe he did quote unquote rat out on some dirty cops. Capullo carried Snyder to a good run for sure. JEC. That if he had a mediocre artist, no one would be talking about Snyder today at all. Nobody. Trevor says, why would Batman trust a corrupt cop? Gordon is more about justice than the law. That's for sure. But that's the thing. Also, Miller is the one who put that in there. The idea that, he's being punished somehow. And Gordon doesn't explicitly say anything about it. So, if anything, that's on Miller for not being explicit. At least come clean at a certain point within a story. Because we are here left with this idea that there's some kind of haze around Gordon's career. And it's not the point that, of course Batman wouldn't team up with a corrupt cop. He wouldn't do that. But he has no choice who he has to deal with now. No choice. If he gets a decent cop, that's who he has to work with. Because it's a criminal institution in Gotham. It's a criminal police force. Trevor, God, Bendis can be so insufferable. He's the worst. And that guy cashed out also. Think about that, guys. Where is he? Where is he making his own independent comics? Where is he? Nowhere. He took his money and ran. He took Superman, bombed there. We haven't heard from him since. Maybe he's still out there. I don't know. I don't care. JEC says, yeah, Capullo was drinking a lot, didn't do anything from the early 2000s right up until New 52. Incredible. That's tragic because the guy is really good. I remember seeing him. He reminded me of like JC. What is it? Like a Popeye artist. Something about his art. Terry Alston, Popeye, really good, and a willingness to exaggerate a little. Fine detail. Guys, thank you. I'm going to continue now. March 11th. Here we go. March 11th. The engine hums gently. Again, the rock solid drawing here of this Porsche. Rock solid. Beautifully, inked. Top light, underneath black. Look at the rims. Everything just rock solid. Love it. Here's Bruce Wayne in his journal. The engine hums gently. Not quite convinced it should stop. I love that. It's great writing. The engine hums gently. Not quite convinced it should stop. It's a beast, the Porsche. Everything is in place. The attendant was even obliging enough to ask me for my autograph. My alibi is set. Bruce Wayne has been sighted at the same hotel as a visiting Hollywood sex queen. That should generate sufficient rumors to account for my whereabouts for the next few hours. So here he is. We're getting a little taste of his. Oops, sorry guys. I got to get back in his abilities here, what he's learned, what he's picked up. This is a reconnaissance mission. Until I know more, I must avoid combat until I'm ready. My anonymity is an obvious priority. The murder of my parents is a matter of public record. All it requires is a change in clothing and complexion, and a single, memorable, distracting detail. A big fat scar on his face. And look at this, guys. The gesture there by Gordon. Again, I just get a kick out of these things, man. Look at that. The gesture drawing right there. I love it. Just a little hint of a line there. Very, very naturalistic in the best sense. You don't want the naturalism, the way Rand wrote about it, at least, to infect your work, where the unnecessary comes in there and undermines. But that's just beautiful. And Gordon's narration now. Requested off this night shift 4 times now. Damn it, Barbara needs me at night these days. Barbara and little James. So I hope it's a boy. So what? It's funny. 4 times, no reply. I'm not making friends in the department. Going to work, Lieutenant. Going to be late. May have to skip the whole night. And he says, old trick. Talking to distract me. Guarantees an attack from behind. Should have checked my military record. I was taught to handle worse than this. But then, it's been a while. And they rip it to him. Somewhere in the middle of it, they tell me it's just a warning. They remind me that I've got a pregnant wife. Toward the end, I hear a familiar chuckle. Flass. Oops. Damn it, guys. I'm sorry, man. I'm losing track of if I'm on the stream there. What the hell? It wouldn't do that? Huh. This is very, 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 very strange. I'm trying to. Okay. Yeah, look at this. That line work. It's awesome. Lights coming in here. And the shadow work is just these thick swabs of ink here. Beautiful. Let me get out of here. go to the next page. It's a great shot. Black all around here, cracking the skull, and then boom, bleeding off the page in open work. So here we go. Bruce Wayne walking down this dirty street of Gotham with a whole criminals and whores and pimps and drug dealers. And he goes, it's a 20-block walk to the enemy camp. That's what he calls the enemy camp. It's been educational. I was sized up like a piece of meat by the Leather Boys in Robinson Park. The Leather Boys. I waded through pleas and half-hearted threats from a junkies at the Finger Memorial. Bill Finger. The actual, well, it's not the actual, it is a co-creation, technically speaking, of Bob Kane and Bill Finger. I'm so glad he's getting actual credit these days. That's awesome. This is Miller paying homage to that as well, which is cool. I waded through pleas and half-hearted threats from junkies at the Finger Memorial. I stepped across a field of human rubble that lay sleeping in front of the overcrowded Sprang mission. Another allusion to Dick Sprang, one of the other Batman artists. That's awesome. In one sentence, in one paragraph, he fits in 3 of the old classic. Jerry Robinson, who created the Joker, and Bill Finger, and Dick Sprang. Finally, the worst of it, the East End. Great shot right there. And the light red, half in ink. Hard to believe it's gotten worse. Cheer you up. I doubt it. How old are you? Young as you want me to be. Stupid That's all wrong, Holly. You're doing it wrong. Did what you said, just like... That's right, honey. But you got to pick you types. Got to know which ones want what you got. This one's not. I haven't said, have I? That vice I smell? That crazy vet bit? That's old, man. I'm not the police. Believe me. You still here? Told you to go, Holly. He hadn't said, this is a little rough here for, having this young, prostitute and mainstream Batman comic. It was 40 years ago, but still. And to be treated this way by her pimp. It's a fine line, man. A fine line. But she said he hadn't said, we talk this over later, sweet chunks. And Wayne's like, no, I think you're finished with her. I'm provoking him. I really shouldn't. Man, you pushing. You on the edge. You're looking for a new scar. That's right. Just tell me where, man. And then you got Selina Kyle, Catwoman, who's a hooker. That's her boss, as well as Holly's boss. They're a pimp. Oh, geez, can't be Vice. We're paid up. Just some idiot to get himself killed. Selina, don't stop now. Shut up, skunk. You know what I hate most about men, skunk? Please, Selina, tell me why you hate us so, please, oh please. Never met one. Say it again. And here's Bruce Wayne walking back into town when she says that. It's a great shot, guys. Look at this. Inking is just fantastic. I love his finished work here. I really love it. Very bold, very assured, very confident. The blacks here, beautiful. Here, I hope you can see my arrow. The line work here, everything looks rock solid, from the cars to the truck to everything. And the color is interesting too, really, really good. Garish, which is, appropriate. Yellows and purples. And so then Bruce Wayne was playing with the guy, and the guy is, he's just fed up, this pimp, about this guy coming into town. He goes, his eyes keep flicking away from the girls to me. He turns away for a second, a dead giveaway. Similar to, Gordon. There's a little connection there. When they yelled at him, he knew that there would be someone behind him. He knows through his training that it's a dead giveaway, that he's going to try to cut him. And Bruce Wayne says, he's pretty fast. I won't say he has a chance, but he's fast. Look at him. He caves in his chest right there. This is getting a little too good to me. Better wrap it up. Boom! A rock solid kick. Takes him out of commission. And then the horse attack. Idiot. Never should have done this. Have to get out of here before I draw attention. Ah! Holly stabs him. God damn it, it must hurt like hell. Come on, you guys. I got him. And then look at these. Oh my God, look at these. Look at their faces. Oh my God. Gruesome. Look at her, him. Is that a trans? Gruesome. Very good, Bruce. You really put the fear of God into them. And Selena's like, damn it. It's a great shot. Great shot of her. That's another great shot. Look at that, guys. Nobody hurts Holly. Hurts. Betty broke my wrist. And look what Bruce Wayne does. That fat pig takes her, throws her right over. It's a great body work there. Boom. Crash landing. Mess. Made a mess of it. No excuse. Didn't control myself. Another one. Hissing like a cat. Hissing like a cat. Looks like she knows what she's doing. Be careful. That's good. She's had karate training. But only karate. You know, because Bruce Wayne, he knows it all. He knows every martial art. He probably picks and chooses whichever ones he likes from there. And Taekwondo, Jeet Kune Do, Kung Fu, karate, who knows what. Krav Maga, Judo, Jiu-Jitsu. He goes, oh no. Selena, get up, Selena. Screech. Cops come. There was also, guys, me and John Malin were reviewing Secret Wars last night. There's fights with men and women, and there's no hesitation there. As with here, Bruce Wayne's throwing these women, hurting them, kicking them, punching them out. There's no, I can't hit a girl type thing. Hey, man, if you're being attacked, you're being attacked. I like that. Equal opportunity, right? Women's lib? All right. You attack me, I'm going to knock you out. Freeze. If I'm caught, it's over. He's thinking like, oh my God, my first night out, I really fucked up here. And what do? They shoot him. No warning, no nothing. They shoot him. Hey, he didn't move, man. He was going to. And again, great shot. Great art. The red background, the silhouettes, the blood there. Man, really, really good. Hit an artery, losing blood. Get up before he needs a doctor. Maybe after he's booked. He's no, can't let them, can't. Boom. Blacks out. And then he hears the cops. Any cash? It's a criminal police, every single last one of them. Any cash? Couple bucks, no ID. Actually, there's a handful. Merkel, I think, comes in here. The one who ends up in the Dark Knight, who's his right-hand man. Any cash? Couple of bucks, no ID. Look, man, he's bleeding all over the seat. We got to take him to a hospital. You look, boy. I've run in 1,000 like him, drifters. Who needs him? If he dies, you two. This is Bruce. You two. Stop the car. Get out. What the hell? Don't mind him, boy. Probably hopped up on something fast, I warned you. Chink! I love that. Bruce Wayne's a man. He's a tip-top shape. And he snaps those handcuffs. Oh my God, he punches him. Knocks them out. And he's a human being. He's a hero. And he says something here. I love that, the way he crumples the car. That's just the way you do it. You don't put unnecessary detail. You just crumple the inks in there. Beautifully done. Shattered glass. Rocked into the truck. Really, really effective. And then you got this simple flames here. Really, really good art, man. And this is Bruce Wayne talking. He goes, fire. Only take seconds to reach the gas tank. Sirens Sirens, more police. Tank will go before they get here. These men, they probably have families, meaning he's going to save them. They probably don't deserve it, to be honest, the way they handle him, the way who knows what they do. They probably murdered innocents on the behalf of Loeb and others. Smoke from the blazing police, this is the news. Smoke from the blazing police cruiser can be seen for blocks. The 2 officers were found unconscious 30 feet away. And he did that. He hurt himself doing that as well. He's shot, but he still had enough wherewithal to drag them out of the way. And he keeps blacking out. Love that. They did that in Daredevil Born Again as well. Just a black panel being knocked out. Ugh. Made it. Somehow. Must have made it here to the car. Again, great shot of the Porsche. Hope I didn't do anything stupid getting here. Done enough wrong tonight. Turn the key, Bruce. Isn't difficult. Just a little slippery. Great descriptions. Great writing. Just a little slippery. Great work. McFarlane did a Daredevil issue where he ripped off a few poses from Mazzucchelli. He ripped off this as well, and this on this drawing here on Batman Year 2, I believe. It was such a terrible swipe. It was like, what the hell? You don't have to swipe. I mean, you're good enough not to, but he did. I just remember that. It just jumped out. So this is Gordon, who was beaten, bloody, but up and about in his car with a bat. That's probably not by accident. He's using a bat. They did just enough to keep me out of the hospital. Can't let Barbara see me like this. And he's listening in. Detective Flass, he's off duty. No, actually, he just called up and asked where he is. He's off duty, Lieutenant, probably at the poker party over at Shoots with the guys. Gordon's like, the guys. And then he's driving, he goes, maniac, almost hit me. Scree. Gordon, there's a Wayne. Almost hit each other. He goes, should arrest the clown. No way to treat a Porsche. God, fear of God. That's Bruce Wayne's car. What's he on? Cocaine. Rich people take cocaine. Saw a special on it. It's funny. And Bruce is just locked in. He goes, fear. I have to make them afraid. Guys, I don't know what you think about these things. I just love it. I love these type of, it's all about form. Everything looks beautifully placed. And it's just about having enough lines in there just to show you that this is a car and it's simple as hell. And you don't need more than that. And the color's really good too. But guys, this was at a time where color was starting to change a little. From this, the Dark Knight in particular. Dark Knight revolutionized color. After that, everyone had to step up. They had to. They couldn't go back to that, primary colors, and that's it. And a few mixes here and there, but not much. Because if you notice here, you got a little white there. You have that right there. This, that color, that blood looks really good. The bruise right there. I'm sorry, guys. I hope you can see my pointer. But here we go. So dodging the Porsche gives me enough adrenaline to make the drive to Bay Ridge. Now, he's also really, really hurt. Not as bad as Bruce. Bruce has been shot. Bruce can die. Whereas he's bloodied and bruised and maybe a little broken too. Who knows? Because they beat the shit out of him with their bats. Dodging the Porsche gives me enough adrenaline to make the drive to Bay Ridge. The bruises are starting to form and my spine feels fused when Wilson says goodbye to the guys. Of course, Wilson's the first to leave. Doesn't want to make his wife stay up too late waiting for him. He's still got his girlfriend to see tonight. He has contempt for his colleagues, clearly. Lowlifes. 20 minutes later, Stanson stumbles out, hunches over like he's lost his life savings. Then Rennie. I let them both go home. He wants to get to the source, to the leader of this gang. Finally, Flass. He staggers to his station wagon and gets in. It only takes him 2 tries. I hear his engine start and watch him pull out. He almost flattens the mailbox before he remembers to turn his lights on. I keep mine off and follow. I haven't seen a house in 3 minutes when I pull up beside him and jerk the wheel. He's 10 miles over the speed limit. Not fast enough to kill him when he hits the tree. Again, it's just a great way of drawing it. Crumpled car right there, just a nice lines, and that gun is pitch perfect. That gun is just rock solid. Beautifully drawn. And Gordon goes on. I show him my gun. He says my name and drops his. Great shot to show the contrast between them, the size. Right here, guys. Oops. Sorry, guys. Great shot to show the contrast between them. Gordon, Flass. He's big. Green Beret training. It's been 15 years since I had to take out a Green Beret. Even so, he deserves a handicap. That's pretty awesome. Throws him that bat. He says, "You're drunk, so at least take this. Give yourself a shot." I don't crack his skull. I don't crush his larynx. I don't break his ribs or punch my hand through his chest. I do just enough to keep him out of the hospital. I toss his gun into the woods. It should be rusty by morning. I take his clothes off and leave him in his own cuffs by the side of the road. He'll never report it. Not Flass. He'll make up some story that involves at least 10 attackers and never admit I did it. But he'll know, and he'll stay away from Barbara. Thanks, Flass. You've shown me what it takes to be a cop in Gotham City. And even this guy's, look at this. The semi-silhouette with the other details popping out. I love that. I love the blood there. Rock solid. The line work there. Really, and look at this, that thick, bold line around Flass. Great movements also by Gordon. That hand is in silhouette. That one's open. Even this right here. I'm sorry, guys. I hope you can see the arrow. I switch between what's on my screen and what's on the account screen in terms of my streaming platform. Sorry, so I'm not sure if you caught all that, but I was just looking at these fine details here. That line, the thick, bold line there, his double chin there, being hit back, and even that great little frame around him. It's awesome. We got a few more pages, and then I'll check out your comments and wherever else. We'll see. If you guys want to hang out for a little, let me know. Again, the crumpled up line work. I love it. He crashed into one of his parents' classic cars, and he's bleeding like hell. And here he is. He's saying, "Father, I'm afraid I may have to die tonight. I've tried to be patient. I've tried to wait. But I have to know. How, Father? How do I do it? What do I use to make them afraid?" He knows that's a key there, to make these fuckers afraid, to make them scared shit so they think twice about committing crime. And he hasn't quite figured it out. If I ring this bell, Alfred will come. He can stop the bleeding in time. Another of your gifts to me, Father. I have wealth. The family manor rests above a huge cave that will be the perfect headquarters. Even a butler with training in combat medicine. Yes, Father, I have everything but patience. I'd rather die than wait another hour. I have waited 18 years. 18 years since Zorro. The mark of Zorro. Since the walk that night. And the man with frightened hollow eyes and a voice like glass being crushed. Boom, boom. Since all sense left my life. It's incredibly dramatized here by Mazzucchelli. Beautifully done, beautifully told. This horrific, tale. about the Waynes, and also the intelligence of Richmond Lewis to leave this wide open, black and white. Very, very dramatic, like a gunshot. And so it's all pure flash of light. Bold silhouettes there as well. And a great shot of young Bruce Wayne there and his eyes. So here we go. Without warning, it comes. Now, this compared to the bat coming in Dark Knight Returns, it's a letdown because that bat was like a monstrous bat. A monstrous bat. It was so cool looking what Miller did when he was Batman was reborn, in his old age, Bruce Wayne. But it didn't have the flair that Miller had for there. But it's just in contrast to that. And if that didn't exist, who knows? I might be fine with this. But man, if you've seen that bat crashing through the window in The Dark Knight Returns, that's a standard. Without warning, it comes crashing through the window of your study and mine. I have seen it before somewhere. It frightened me as a boy. Frightened me. Yes, Father. I shall become a bat. Ding ding, calls Alfred. That's a great shot with a bat over his father's statue. Bust of his father. Here's the cover to issue 2. We're going to stop here. Thanks, guys. That was fun. Okay, let me read some comments, and if you guys want to hang out, let me know. You guys want to talk about some other stuff besides this? Sure. JEC says about McFarlane and Capullo. McFarlane gave Capullo a salary through that time. He was a staff artist, basically. Huh. He didn't get any kind of extras, any kind of bonuses, any kind of... Mikey Getz says, oh my God, don't remind me of Ben the Suit Man. Ugh, he's so bad. Trevor asks, did Richmond Lewis recolor this? It's definitely digital. I remember being super impressed with their color selection in the originals. Let me show you something. Since you mentioned it, let me show you something. Give me 1 second. Let me show you something, Trevor, and everyone else. I'm going to make my usual pitch also for my comic. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to put this here and get my Batman Year One Absolute, because I'm going to show you something, and I think it is a difference. Okay. In addition to the artist edition and to the smaller hardcover and to the original issues and so on, I have also this Batman Year One Absolute Edition. And this is an interesting one, guys. Very interesting. Check this out. There are 2 versions here. You have the original version, and you have what I think Trevor's talking about, a recolor. So here we go. Hardcover of the original, and it's as if you're looking at the originals in a newsprint. Newsprint. To give it the old feel, the old look. I know they recolored Watchmen as well. They don't have to recolor Dark Knight. No, it's perfect as is. But let's just see the contrast here, because I believe you're right, Trevor. I believe she also colored the original one in the newsprint and then recolored it in the collection, in the hardcover collection. But I just want to confirm that. We can confirm that pretty easily just by looking at those first few pages. Give me a second. Yes, look at this. So this is the original in newsprint. And this is what came after. We're talking Very different. Not a lot of the red hues and whatnot, and the green colors and this and that, and it's just a richer, and also the printing quality clearly is a lot better. It's just superior, but it's a pretty cool way to look at the comic as it was originally published, with the same colors that they were, and also, okay, let's look at this, guys. So let's look at this, the contrast here as well. Okay. Here even, that page that we just saw with the cops shooting Bruce. And look at this. Oh, let me try to get this. Let me do this actually, side to side. Look at that. Clearly different. This, not that much different. It's just pretty cool, man, to see it. And I'm going to read that little letter that Toth wrote. And I believe I marked it. I believe I did. I gotta find it actually, but look at this, guys. That opening again. That more or less looks like the roughs and pencils they did for Daredevil Born Again, but again, it's the finished art that makes the difference. It's the finished art that he was going for and that he held consistent from basically page 1 until that final page. And it was a consistency that wasn't there with Daredevil Born Again. And it's not a lesser work for that, it's just that he was experimenting there. So here we go, guys. Here's a letter from Alex Toth to Mazzucchelli, published in issue 407, the final issue of Daredevil, of Batman Year One. The following letter made David M's day. This is I guess it was Daniel O'Neill, the editor. The following letter made David M's day, Dave Mazzucchelli's day. Intelligently throughout. Well done, Mazzucchelli. This is what Toth wrote. A friend sent me copies of Batman 1 to 3. I think he said 1 to 3. Ascribing stylistic links twixt Mazzucchelli and me. Flattering indeed, now that I've scanned his art, which is good continuity work. Approach, interpretation, and finish suggest the best of many like-minded storytellers. A happy blend of Pratt, Munoz, Hernandez, Battaglia, and Thorne's work of 20 years ago. The common thread of economy, clarity, simplicity, and fine staging sense wins my applause and future interest. My only boo, quote unquote, goes to the too small, cramped cursive and script lettered captions as a graphic gaffe. Happy 87 all, Alex Toth. Amazing. Amazing. I mean, imagine how I felt when I got that first postcard from him. Outrageous. I mean, unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Interesting here also, guys. Look, the covers are like they were, shiny gloss, and then the newsprint. So cool. So cool to get that look and feel. And again, this version and this version, how different they are also. So cool. All right, guys, I'm gonna read some comments. I just want to put this back quick. Actually, I'll just leave it here for now. Put it back later. By the way, guys, if you didn't see the my Secret Wars review with John Malin on his channel, you can view it if you become a member of his channel. You can do that, and in 2 weeks we're going to finish issue 7 to 12 on that. Okay, so I'm going to finish up some comments here, and guys, what do you want to do? Let me know. Okay. Yes, Trevor. So I believe that's what it is. So she colored the original Batman Year One, the monthly one, and then she had a second chance at it, and she colored that. The same thing happened with Watchmen. The same thing happened with Watchmen. For a special edition, they recolored it. And again, Dark Knight Returns, you don't have to recolor it. The original Spider-Man with Lee and Ditko, I want them to recolor it. I want them to make it really good color, not modern crap, just good, rock solid color to enhance the art. That's really what I want. I want that. They did that with Simons and Thor in the omnibus. It was recolored, the entire thing. It's beautiful. Beautiful. I want to see that with Burns X-Men, Kirby's FF. I want to see that. I hope we get to see that, but there's no incentive for them to do that. It's a lot of work, a lot of, we'll see. But they did do it for the Thor thing, so it gives me hope. Also, Daredevil, Miller's Daredevil, recolor that. SXS says Bendis tanked Jurgen's great rebirth run. Might have been the biggest tragedy in comics of the 2010s, where he was doing it with, was that with Lee Weeks? SXS? Excuse me. 1 second, guys. Okay. SXS says, Bosch, did you ever read Brubaker Cook's Catwoman stuff? Yes. Reminds me a lot of Year One Catwoman. Absolutely. I enjoyed it very much. Mike Allred was inking Cook, and I'm not sure if he was the right guy to do it, really. A little too smooth, a little too slick. Cook is a little rough. He needs a little toothy finish, but it was good. Layouts were good. It was fun. It was light. Then I got his The Score, I think it was called, the graphic novel Catwoman that he wrote, pencil and inked. Darwin Cook. Even though the ending it got very loose, way too loose, and in terms of the inking, you could tell he just, I think, just finished it up in a much more loose way than he did before, and it wasn't better. It wasn't better. Sometimes loose could be better, but it wasn't better. But Cook was great. He was really great. He made such a strong impact. He came in late in the game also, after he had a advertising career. He was sick of it though. He thought it was soul destroying. And then so he went to his first love, comics. And he did a hell of a job. Those Parker adaptations are great. Grey Wolf says, our youngest son got into Krav Maga for a while before he enlisted in the Army. Yeah, there's so many different types of martial arts. And again, Bruce Wayne knows them all. That's the idea about Bruce Wayne. He wants to know them all. There's always something. It's like this. When you're learning how to write, right? You don't just listen to what's good out there. You go to the bookstore and you look and you see what might jump out. It might not even be better than the next guy, but there's always something within the book or two. I've read dozens of books on writing. There's always something in a book of value to learn about writing. Always. Writing, of course, is the ultimate thing, but if you get a thoughtful writer who knows how to teach, it's invaluable. It's really important that you can learn actually a lot from that. Mikey Getz says, agreed. The first fight I got in was in school when I was little, because I was taught if someone hits you, hit them back 10 times hard. I think he meant back sex doesn't matter. Yes. Oh, okay, sorry. He meant, it's true. Whenever someone hit me, I pounded them harder than they ever did, and that was the end of it. And also, I don't know, there was something about it. Never got bullied. Why? I can't say exactly. But I got in some fights, and it's good to get in them. It's good to get punched and punched back. Have it, had part of your experience. It's something about it. And it makes you not too gun shy to take chances sometimes. If you have to stand up to certain people at times, you have that experience under your belt. Mikey Getz says, year 2 sucks. The real year 2 is Long Halloween. The Long Halloween. Yeah, it did suck. McFarlane was messing around with the cape. It's like, he's such an unserious storyteller. He really is. Batman's cape was a character in there, and that was it. It's like, okay, it's alive like Venom. It's like, okay, what else? What a strange to go from Batman Year One to this living, breathing 20, 30-foot cape that he gave Batman. Stan Labuda, Porsche. There was an E after Porsche. I don't, what, Porsche? I like saying Porsche. I just do. I think others do as well, I guess that's a thing. People might have like a little pet peeve. Porsche, don't like Porsche. I don't like the way it sounds, Porsche. Mikey Get says you don't have to stick around if you're bust, Bosch, but I appreciate chatting with you. If you're busy, I'm good, man. I got some stuff done, and I'm good. Mikey Get says I have the Killing Joke. Absolutely, me too. It has both colors. Yes, correct. They also redid that. It's pretty cool because these are comics that are worth bringing the final result on, the final touch. Rocketeer also, I got the special edition and the beautiful colors that were added after the initial colors. It's just better, and they have to do that, guys. They got to do that with the old Spider-Man, Ditko and Lee, with the old Daredevils, Miller. I want to see that. I want to see with the old Hulk also, 1 to 6, with Kirby and Ditko. I want to see those colors as well, recolored. Hello out there says I prefer the OG, the original Batman Year One. It was good, but I don't know. She brought a little more different to it in her second try. Happy's Funhouse says, are any of the Bat Family Year Ones any good? I think Chuck Dixon wrote Robin Year One, Batgirl Year One. They were fun. They were good. Polito and Martin, I think some Spanish artists. Really good guys, really good artists. Trevor says, Richmond Lewis has such a great color sense. She does. She carries the mood better than most of her books of the time. 100%. She really does. She understood color theory. Pop Culture Rocks. Bosh! Pop Culture Rocks. How's it going, man? Guys, I'm going to make my pitch, my usual pitch. If you got it already, I know. So some of you haven't. Some of you, you're still on the fence. You still haven't. So let me try to give you a reason to consider backing Pigman. I would appreciate it. You know that. Let me try to get this smaller on the screen. It's not seeming to. 1 second, guys. Okay. Here's my comic book. Here's Johnny says, I like the simplicity of the Year One suit. Yeah. Beautiful design. And we're going to see it fully in the next issue for the first time. I don't know when I'm going to review it. Maybe tomorrow, but I'll see what time I have. I got some stuff to do tomorrow, so. But so this is my comic, guys. Pigman. Got some little clicks here. It's not quite working as well. Pigman #1. The Islamic background of twins comes to the forefront of their lives in 9/11, which is echoed by the comic book within Pigman vs. Superjihad. Twin brothers, Killian Duke and Salam Duka. That's them right there. One has a beard, one doesn't. Recovered Muslim, born-again Muslim. Pigman, recovered Muslim, against his born-again Muslim old friend turned super terrorist, super jihad. It's their story echoes theirs, and so on, vice versa. Take on the culture war, the political war, the ideological war, the religious war, and the war within the country itself, where the resistance to fight jihad, because it's a religion and so on, and Muslims are good and so on, and all that we hear, it's irrelevant, because when they kill thousands of Americans, those things don't matter. They should go by the wayside, end this threat, and deal with the consequences after the fact, whatever they may be. That's what you got to do, and that's why Pigman came to be, because after 9/11, I had to create this thing, and especially when Bush said, Islam is peace. America's got to realize that. That was it. I was like, okay, he just fucked our war effort. Hey, Ava. Good job. Keep talking. It's funny. Um, so here's my comic book again. This is my comic book crowdfund. I'm at 246 backers, $15,805, which is very, very good. I want to get more, clearly. I hope to get more. I want to get enough backers where I'm confident going into issue two happily. Like, yes, we're going in strong. That's what I want. And I believe in the secondary market. I think I will tell you guys also. It's better for you to get it now. If you plan on getting it, you should get it now instead of later. It will just get more expensive. On my own website, I will have a stack of copies as well. I will be selling it for more, and in the secondary market, who knows? I've had books that were sold for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Table for One, Propaganda. Propaganda is the first print appearance of Pigman. That's out of print. Maybe I could add that to this campaign. I don't know. Maybe a redo of that as well. We'll see. I got a 9-page preview here, guys, of my comic book. There's a street fight with the fictional creator of Pigman within the story. The ex-Muslim Albanian background. His parents born in the Bronx, raised by Albanian Muslim parents. He's walking down the street and he's like, "What? Are you kidding me?" This is after 9/11. There's some Muslims putting up shop, giving away free Qurans. Your Muslim friends. He's like, they get into an argument and they get into a street fight, and then showing Pigman, first time ever in the issue, in silhouette form at first, and then you see him in his full glory here. Here he is, and you can see him. You can see his eyes through the mask. Here's the twins arguing, battling it out. Pigman fighting Jihad. And here's part of the debates that happens between the characters on TV, comic book panels, entertainment shows, and so on, and interview shows, and then also I got 5 different covers, guys. 5 different covers. Here's the first one. Relative traditional comic book, action scene. Full close-up of Pigman in war paint, jihadist blood. Show the 4 main characters. Pigman making his vow to end jihad, nothing less than end jihad. Here's the 5th cover. Pigman, just a profile shot. I offer Pigman hard index card drawings. The hard index card, again, it's the ink doesn't get soaked into, doesn't get absorbed by the traditional index cards. It's a hard plastic, like it's not a plastic, but it's a hard card that the ink stays on. It's very, very dark. I got 5 covers. You can get them all at once. I got the digital copies for mainly overseas readers and just those who want to read. That's it. Those who just want to read the comic. I have Pigman symbol on a T-shirt. I have a print of the war paint. I want it all pack. Trading card. Submission impossible. I also was asked to add my first graphic novel, and I did. I will have more copies of it later on. I make original sketch drawings, with pencil and ink on the covers. Those you will get original drawings by me, Pigman and Killian and so on these covers. Original art you can own, and commissions. I got a number of these things, guys. So do consider backing it. I really would love your support. This is the only comic book taken on Islam and jihad in the world. It's not exaggeration. Miller took on Al Qaeda in a half-assed way. He said, "I don't know squat about Islam. Why, Frank? Why didn't you do homework?" Pissed me off at the time, but it's the only one comic book that takes on the culture war against Islam, the culture war within America that doesn't allow us to fight jihad, and so on. And the war within the comic book industry, the entertainment industry, the news media, quote unquote news. It's not news, but the propaganda media, and so on. And even sports guys chime in the book. Jon Stewart is in there, and a lot of these hacks. So yeah, it's really fun, and Daniel Greenfield said is the closest thing to Dark Knight Returns, and that's an influence on me. Clearly, I have the media respond to Pigman, have the world respond to him. A lot of hatred's coming his way, and some love. You know, there are his cheerleaders, but politicians don't like him. He's taking a war into his own hands. They don't like that aspect of it. He's ending full jihadist groups who are not, getting back together after he takes them out. The leftovers are like they just retire from jihad. And also, guys, it's funny. Believe it or not, it's funny. It's not just brutal and violent, and it's funny. I laugh at some stuff that happens in there. But thanks, guys. Uh, Thank you very much, Trevor. Super chat from Trevor, $5. Thank you, Trevor. Appreciate it, man. For the pitch, buy Pigman. Do yourself a favor and buy it now. You won't find a better story than this. Wow. Thank you very much, Trevor. Very, 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 very kind of you. I've known Trevor for a long time. He's a cartoonist himself, and that means a lot, Trevor. Thank you very much, man. It's something. Also, one thing. There's this. I think your boy Zach, Ethan was talking about him. He was saying something in terms of there was difference between the YouTube merch and the comic books, and people they buy the YouTube merch like the Ripverse stuff because of a cultural affinity with him and so on, or something about cultural work, whereas other guys buy comics because of the art and the story. But I can't deny the fact that this is, taking on the culture. It is, and at the same time, I try to make it as entertaining as I can make it. It's because it is a story in the end. So I'm not hitting you over the head. I think I'm integrating the story, the ideas against jihad within it, without being separated from that. Being smooth within the story. So thanks, Trevor, very much. It's very, very kind to hear. I have people sometimes they tell me they like it, but they love this story in particular. That means the most to me because in the end, we are storytellers. We are not painters. We are not just visual. We are storytellers. That's what we are, and that's the key there. And again, no matter what I'm talking about here, about the politics of it, about the religion, about the societal aspects, the cultural aspects, is a story in the end. Story about two brothers, one recovered Muslim, one a born again Muslim, and their personal war with each other, which is enhanced in the fictional part of the story. Well, it's both. There's a real world, but of course it's fictional as well. But the story within a story with Pigman and Super Jihad, and that just amps up the story of the brothers, takes it a little further, a little more dramatized. And it's fun. It's something that I can't imagine not doing in terms of, after 9/11, it's like, what the hell am I going to do? I'm going to do some other story? No, I got to take on these bastards. I think Miller put it well. And, Miller said it along the lines of, I think he said it, you can't create villains like this. Like, they're so evil. There's a reason why we didn't see those things happen. I think it was Escape from New York. I think a plane did fly into a building, but I don't remember the context of it. But these guys are parasites also. They steal from the Japanese, the kamikazes. They stole from the New York, Escape from New York probably. But the point is that they're so evil that they're what are you gonna do? Write another Lex Luthor story when you got these guys flying planes in buildings? Destroying people's lives, going after hunting children, beheading cartoonists. These are monsters and they got to be dealt with. They have to pay a severe historical price to the point that they're scared shit to continue acting on their ideology. That's where Pigman comes in. He terrifies the fuck out of them. Batman is talking about how to make the enemy afraid. That's Pigman's purpose as well. And I even allude to that in. Let me show you my old comic. I have one left copy of Pigman, of the Infidel #1. It's a little damaged copy. Huh. I do have it, yes. Yeah, this was the original. This is the original years ago. I got this one last copy here, and I think it's a damaged one that they have. There was a little printing mishap. Actually, no, this is a good one. I think I just kept one for myself. I don't have any more of the issue 3, though. So this was The Infidel featuring Pigman. Eisner Award nominee, which I'm proud as hell about. Oink Comics. And here's my homage to Bruce Wayne. Jihadists are a superstitious and cowardly lot, so my disguise must be able to strike terror into their hearts. I must become something terrible, something they fear. I shall become a pig. You know, it's fun, man. It's fun stuff. Love that. Just a little taste of that also. Little things like this, you know. I think it's funny. Killian's talking to his Muslim friend, longtime Muslim friend, and he says, what do you say? He tries to talk him out of Pigman. He goes, oh, so he goes, I don't think you're suicidal, but your work really gives me pause. He goes, oh, so you do understand Islam. He goes, this is serious, Killian. He goes, deadly serious, apparently. If you can't stand, Pigman, imagine what true Muslims feel. Because he sees him as some kind of half-assed Muslim, and he is. He goes, I am a true Muslim. He goes, really? You do know that behind Islam's hatred of women is a love of men, which makes Islam pretty gay. He goes, Killian, what am I supposed to say something like that? He goes, nothing. He's supposed to do something about it, like any true Muslim would. He's trying to make a point to him. The same point that I made to these Turkish and quote-unquote Palestinian Muslims at a speech I gave years ago in Maryland, where I drew Muhammad in the middle of the speech. And I recognize you guys. I said, those guys are watching me. I think they might be Muslim. We'll see. And they ended up trying to call me out after and say, you were never Muslim? I said, I was. Nah, you weren't. Look at you. I'm like, yeah, no, it's not about looks, dummy. And so I told him, I said, you guys aren't even Muslim now, much less, But he goes, why? I said, because you guys would have ran up here and tried to cut my head off as I was drawing Muhammad. You guys let me do it, It's pretty funny. And then this one guy walked up to me and he gave me an idea for a cartoon without knowing it, because I did it after the fact. He goes, we are here in the West. It's like we're putting sheep's clothing on the wolves ourselves. I said, that's a good way to put it. Thanks, Happy's Funhouse. Appreciate it. Yeah, the debates are really fun. Also this here in terms of the TV debates here, and showing the Hindu Kush, the mountain range. So this will be in issue 1. It'll be remastered, a little touched up here and there and changed. Some of it expanded, clearly, a little more dramatic and whatnot, but it's just fun stuff, guys. Really, really fun, and I love doing it. Here's this one leftist said this about my work. He goes, you're the reason why I won't feel bad when we all die in a nuclear holocaust. I said, praise my work. I mean, think about that, guys. My cartooning work, my comic book work is going to get us all nuked, and this person won't feel bad because of my work. It's pretty preposterous. I mean, it's outrageous, but... And here's Pigman's chess symbol. Again, guys, September 11th, 9/11, and those two dents, 93, Flight 93 on 9/11, and also the first attack on the Twin Towers, 1993, and a traditional S for Superman, and also a capitalist pig, $. And here's an image I mentioned earlier today in an early stream, or this one, because I did 2 streams today. I don't know if I've done it before. You are a mighty talented pro, write, draw, stage, tell stories with brilliant savvy to all elements in a mix. I'm very impressed. Kudos. Alex Toth. I'm still blown away. And that was the that was the signature image of my graphic novel, Table for One. I walk into a crowded room, not a soul in sight. And then here's some choice blurbs that I got for Pigman. Big Jim Shooter, the great Jim Shooter. He goes, well done, provocative, not politically correct. You've got skills. Jim Shooter. Blew me away too. Daniel Greenfield, the great Daniel Greenfield, who goes, the Infidels, closest parallel is Frank Miller's Dark Knight, the only truly relevant post 9/11 comic. Chuck Dixon said, powerful story and well told. You wade fearlessly into some very dangerous waters here. Stylish, raw, and visceral, and told with a lot of heart. Awesome, man. Thanks, Chuck. And then you got James Hudnall. Very strong storytelling and graphic design skills. He doesn't pull any punches. Bosch falls and goes where few dare to tread. Incredible. Blown away by these blurbs, man. Just blown away. But yeah, guys, thanks again, Trevor. Much appreciated, man. The story is the key. It's the thing. It really is, and that particularly means a lot to me. So thank you very much. Whenever I get that, I'm not the most dynamic or flashiest of artists. I'm not, and I don't set out to be. I want to tell a story. I want to tell it as well as I can, directly as I can, clearly as I can. And if I can make some dramatic stuff, absolutely. The action scenes, I do want to open up a little, be a little more action oriented. But I'm telling a story. I'm not doing some kind of poster. So that's my thing. So thanks again, Trevor. Appreciate it. Thanks for the super chat and the very kind words. Mikey Getz says, I wanted to read Table for One and love autographs. So after your first show on Ethan's, I got a signed copy on eBay for $100. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so they sold them for hundreds there actually, and it was something ridiculous, like $500 for probably. I was like, damn, that's a lot on Amazon and eBay. But thanks for getting it, Mikey. Appreciate it. Mikey continues. Pigman isn't pussy like the fixer back at now. Thanks, man. Yeah, Miller undercut it on day one when he said, I don't know squat about Islam, but I sure know a lot about Al Qaeda. It's like, what does that mean? Why not, Frank? You did a ton of research for 300. This is at least due as much as that. What the hell? You're fighting an ideological enemy. You're fighting an enemy who's at war with you with their ideas to motivate them. It's not just physical attacks. Very strange. It was a failure. It was. Now, kudos to on one chance. I don't give him 3 cheers. I give him 1 cheer for taking it on to some extent, even though half-assed. But he admitted it to his girlfriend, who told me that he thought he didn't go far enough. Of course he didn't. Whereas some people think I go too far, even people who like my stuff. It's like, what the hell? What'd you do there? What'd you say there? I don't think I do. I don't think so at all. I think I give them exactly what they deserve. He pummels them out of existence. That's what he does. They don't deserve to live. Scumbags who would target innocents and slaughter thousands of them in one shot. They don't deserve to live. They got to be killed. JEC says, Snake landed on top of the trade buildings on a glider and started of escape from New York. But there was also a plane that flew into a building, didn't it? If I remember correctly. I do remember seeing that. And that's why I made a note of it at the time. I was like, whoa. I guess some dummy in the desert was watching this and, on a VHS tape. Hey, we can do that. Because they're warmongers who can't wage war because they're stupid. So they have to hijack planes and steal cars and use cars as weapons and so on. Happy's Fun. I said, I love the layouts of the panels for the debates. It's so dynamic. Thank you, man. Happy's Fun. I said, how did you plan the layouts for the debates? Did you have the layouts in mind when writing the scene, or was it something you did after you wrote the script? Almost always. I mean, there's a general visual idea as I'm writing. I get certain images in my mind, and sometimes what I do on the script itself is make a little doodle to push a little further, to at least note it, keep it on track, let's say. But then when it comes to the actual, each process, you go through this whole different thing. You refine it. It's like whatever, even the script makes a lot of revisions at that point, because it's like, okay, I don't need all that. I can just visualize that. I don't need to have as many descriptions or as much dialogue here. Sometimes just with a look, that's more than enough. But I do get a little dialogue heavy at times. I don't mind that. If it's good dialogue, it's good dialogue. It's a it's a battle of ideas at that point, and I want everyone to get their shot. Everyone in that story, and 100% there will be people who will agree with others than with Killian. 100%. People who are reading it, they might agree with that guy or this guy. Say, you know what? I don't agree with Killian there. Good. Then I did my job because I want to make a legitimate case for each of these characters. However, what I think of them, I'm trying to get in their head. Say, okay, I think they would say something like this. I think they believe this, and so on. Um, so he's not just a bowling ball and knocking out things. No, I think it's a good organic argument that they're having, and it goes from one thing he says something, then he says something because he said that, and so on, and it's fun. Trevor says, I was working on a project with James Heldon when he died. God damn it, man. I remember he was getting sick. I remember that, and then before I knew it, he died. And bad, man. That was a gut punch. Even though I knew he was sick, I didn't know the details of it. I found out later also. He didn't, I don't think he talked about it openly. I don't blame him. I probably wouldn't do it myself, but God damn it. He could still be here. See a lot that's going on. JAC says the president's plane, maybe the president's plane. But I do remember that, though. I remember there was a plane, also Miller in Dark Knight Returns, when the nuke goes off and the plane's falling out of the sky, landing into buildings and so on. It's not unprecedented in fiction, but this, of course, was a wanton, attack on a building of people and killing everyone there. And again, guys, whatever they try to sell us, these savages, that they're true believers and we love death. You love life, we love death. Talk themselves up. Out of the 19 hijackers, only 4 of them knew they were suicide missions. They couldn't get everyone else to get on board. They knew that. It's very tough to throw your life away, even for these savages. Even for Muslims who were raised in hellholes, it's still tough for them to throw their lives away and some to get a little hopped up also. They need a little drugs. Trevor says, we started talking about it at Batten's funeral. He was really sick then, stuck in a wheelchair. Jeez. If I remember also, he was losing limbs, I think. My God. Anyway. Terrible. But thanks again, Trevor. Thanks, everyone. I do appreciate your time here and your give and take. Always appreciate it, guys. I think that's it. I made my pitch. Always want to make my pitch. I think it's important. I never want to forget. This is important to me to get this out there in a way that strong. I want to have a strong, push towards issue 2, and I'm going to try to have a strong. I've added basically up to 7,000 on my, more or less on my own in the last month, in the last few weeks after the big push that I got, on that first day with Ethan, with John on Kang's that one night, a little bowlers, and then I've been able to add about at least I think 6,000, just chipping away, advertising. I want to advertise more places, but I just don't know, guys. I don't know where. The X promotion post things was working, and then it stopped working. So Breitbart contacted him 2 or 3 times. It's like, come on, guys, don't be pussies. My money's good. It's about money, right? You want to advertise? Why not? Let's see. I mean, if you guys have any ideas about, what some podcasters ask them to mention it on their screen, talk about it, maybe. Will that be something worthwhile? Maybe. I want to try something new and different also. I want to reach people that may not know about it, may not even care for comics per se, but be a little intrigued, like, oh, there's a comic book taking on this real world enemy. That could be interesting. Trevor says, yeah, Batten's death really tore me up. Yeah, I remember getting that call from Jackie. It gutted me. Man, that was tough. and I was going through a lot of stuff myself at that time. Also, I remember that um, post Garland and all that, my life being flipped completely. Um, that just, you know, that was tough. Got to know him. First time I saw Batten, he was on a panel with Paul Pope and Frank Miller at SPX, the Small Press Expo in Maryland. And Batten just intrigued me. So funny. I don't know why. I thought he was English. And I told him about it. We laughed. And he has a clear Brooklyn accent. I mean, I don't know how the hell I thought that. I don't know I don't know what happened, but I thought the guy was interesting. And the first thing I asked him in the email, because I found his email, I said, have you read Ayn Rand? Because it was something he was saying, which may have been the case. And he says, yes. And we just hit it off at that point. We met at MoCA, I believe, the first time, and then SPX, and then San Diego Comic-Con. Knew him for a good number of years. Every time I went to San Diego and the small press expos whenever we could. Sometimes just met up in San Diego. Yeah. Mikey Getz says, media is nothing but liars in a way that people are giving us news. Yeah, it's propaganda. It's pure propaganda. We don't have an objective news media at all. We should. A free society should have that, but we don't have that. We have either right or left. It's like, come on, man. I want that. I want to get news, actual news from people who I don't know where the hell they're coming from. We don't know that. It's become corrupted to the point where it's propaganda networks. And at least Fox will give you a chance at getting to the truth, more so than the left stuff, but still, they're going to propagate a little here and there. They will. It's not, it's, while they will show my Muhammad cartoon, meaning that's a difference, that they will show my Muhammad cartoon. The others will absolutely not. So there's a difference there, but still, it is compromised. It's compromised. But I'm going to get going, guys. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for your time. Thanks again, Trevor. Appreciate it. And until next time, guys, thank you so much. Take care. Be well. Thank you.